If you're dating, married, or somewhere in between, this is a must listen to conversation and episode. This is a must listen to, must watch episode as we talk about redefining relationships in ways that are honest, healing, and really deeply rooted in faith. We're excited to have you here on episode 767 of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Listen, I have guests with me that are back by popular demand. Yeah, back by popular demand. You have seen these guests on the show individually. Now they are here with us. Bishop James Watson and Dr. Nikita Watson are with us. And our topic, real, relevant, and raw, redefining relationships. We're one of the tour stops for their brand new book. You're going to hear all about it. And we're going to get started right after this quick intro. Don't you move. You're here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. And listen, we want to shout you out. If you are checking this out in the podcast version, listen, Apple Podcasts, you're always up there at the top of the list. Spotify, some of you may be even listening from Amazon Music. We appreciate you. Certainly those that are over on YouTube. Listen, YouTube is already fired up. Shout out to my cousins coming in from New York. They said, we all here, we in here. Roberto, thank you for being here. If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. I know you like this content. We want to make sure that you get the notification. So subscribe. And also thank you for those that watch us on YouTube on your TV. So we might be full screen with all of these apps and apparatuses that we have these days. We're excited to have you again here, episode 767, and it's all about relationships. This is one of our author spotlights. So certainly we know we have different people that watch our show, business and entrepreneurs and nonprofit and ministry leaders. This is all around spotlighting authors that are in my local community, but certainly global. And we're going to be talking about some good stuff here. So don't move. Matter of fact, while you're watching, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat that you are here, where you are watching from, because we want to shout you out as we get ready to introduce our guests that are going to be coming up. Bishop James Watson, he is back by popular demand. Dr. Nikita Watson, back by popular demand. And so let me greet a few people because the lobby, the show studio is filling on up. Hello, Dr. Travis. Thank you for being here. Listen, my mom is in the house. Hey, Betty Jean, good to see you. Good to see you. Listen, thank you for tagging. We see you tagging people in saying, listen, come on in. Check this out. We're so glad to have you. Hey, Lisa Watson, thank you for being here. Hello, JL. Thank you for sharing about the show. We're excited to have you, and all of those that, again, are going to be coming on in. Just let us know that you're here and comment, because we want to absolutely showcase you in the chat and on the screen. And so let me get ready to bring our guest up, because we got a lot to talk about, right? We have a lot to talk about. And so in this episode, really unfiltered episode of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, I'm going to be chatting with Bishop James Watson and Dr. Nikita Watson, dynamic duo behind a brand new book. Listen, Bishop James Watson is a respected spiritual leader. He's a philanthropist and the CEO of Strong Man Ministries. You heard about that last time he was here, where he stands on the front lines of spiritual warfare for the healing of families, especially men. He's known for his authenticity and compassion. And Bishop J, as we call him, lives by the motto, meeting people where they are so they may get to God. And then coming right on in with us, Dr. Nikita Garris Watson, affectionately known as the Stiletto Preacher. She's a survivor, she's a strategist, and a spirit-led trailblazer. Listen, as an apostle and best-selling author, educator, and CEO of Dr. Key Enterprises. She uses her own testimony of childhood and adult abuse to bring deliverance to both the neighborhood and the nations. She's armed with a bachelor's degree, 2 master's degrees, and a doctorate in ministry, and a fire of transformation. Listen, we see you all here ready to go. Let me bring our guests live on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Dr. Key, Dr. Bishop James. I know I'm going to miss up to say that, but we are so excited to have you. Listen, the studio is full. Let me tell you, welcome back.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, welcome back. So let's get started. I want to jump in. So certainly, your love story is so powerful. Can you share how real, relevant, and raw really kind of came to life, came to being?
Yeah, I'll get started. Real, relevant, and raw really came together from being in our kitchen, just having kitchen conversation, table conversations, and we were just trying to write a book and just talk ourselves through real issues, real life issues that we face with every day, and just laughing and praying together. And we came to an agreement that we're growing, and we want to make sure that those that that the information we have, and we realize that those conversations not just helped us, but they'll be able to help somebody else.
Yeah. Dr. Key, what would you like?
Yes, and as my husband said, we really weren't trying to write a book. We were taking our lived experiences, the questions that kept coming up in sessions that we were having. We were taking our things that we were running into as pastors, and we wanted to be able to take those vulnerable questions and reach as many singles as couples as we could, because we knew that we wouldn't be able to sit at the table with everybody individually. But if we could find a way to give people answers that they could get, that was wrapped in grace and wrapped in truth, and wrapped in honesty, but they would have access, and then they could have those hard conversations, even in private spaces, because we did set it up in a he says, she says. So it's their questions, but it's our answers with God's grace. And that's how we came into, and Real, Relevant, and Raw was the name. That's the name at the beginning of our relationship. That's what we always say we would be. We would be real. We would keep it real. We would be relevant. We would be raw. And raw wasn't nasty. Raw was just being authentically honest with one another.
Yeah.
Even when sometimes it's going to hurt sometimes, but we were willing to say, if it hurts to help, we were willing to walk it through together.
Yeah. And I said before we came on air, there are a lot of relationship things out there that might be, it's just a man or just a woman. But I love that both of you together are tackling this topic that is on the top of a lot of people's minds. And so what does it truly mean? I'm going to start with Dr. Key. What does it truly mean to redefine relationships, especially in today's culture?
Wow, that's a loaded question, and I'm going to do my best. But we're talking about dealing with not just the spirituality, but the emotional intelligence. We're talking about wholeness, intentionality. That I'm intending, and I'm coming in with a made up mind to create and cultivate a relationship that's healthy, that is rooted in not just an identity, but also that we identify that I intentionally want to love you. I want to give you my best, that I'm not letting my insecurity take the front line, that I'm willing to unlearn and relearn, because a lot of us, especially as we get into relationships, there are things we have to really unlearn. Behaviors, mindsets, beliefs that we bring to the table that don't fit. No relationship is one size fits all, but there are some fundamental principles that can help us all be in a healthy space. To have a relationship to see what it looks like when God is at the center. I told my husband when I married him, I wanted to have what God intended when he created Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden.
Wow.
I had the original plan and purpose. I want that. I wanted that in my life. And I hope to be able to not only experience it, but help others to find it as well.
So well said. Bishop, what would you add? Anything to add to that?
And adding that, you said a key word, Elder. You said, what does it mean to redefine? And redefining to me really just means stripping away the false expectations. When we strip away the false expectations, then we can go back to God for his, like she said earlier, for his original design. We can, the culture pushes us oftentimes with filters and fears and fast love, but we push faith, foundation, and fruit. And one of the things I want you to understand is that when you push your relationship based on faith, God will give you favor. If you push your relationship on foundation, you know that it be solid as a rock when God gets through helping you. And when you push the fruit out, that really just helps you redefine what comes out of you and grows into other people.
My goodness, this is why you all are relationship architects. I love that. I love that. If you're listening, I know you're like, oh man, he said some good stuff. Yeah, you'll be able to go back wherever you're watching or listening and be able to hear this again and share this out. And so I love also that both of you describe marriage as a sacred assignment. And so Dr. Key, can you unpack, what that looks like in real life?
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
When you start talking about sacred, we realize that it's not just about being happy, but it's about being holy. And when we start talking about being holy, it's the struggle of when you know you're right about something, but you still have to show up righteous. So it means that I'm mad and I'm still praying for you, and I'm praying for your goodness. I'm not praying to manipulate you, but I'm praying to get God's will out of this situation. It's when I show up and I say, I choose purpose over pride. And the purpose of this relationship is more important than the pride of the moment, because I'm not fighting against you. I'm fighting with you. And that's when you start talking about that sacred assignment that, as my husband had said earlier, he talked about the fruit. When you talk about fruit, and we look at Galatians, the fruit of the Spirit is love. The fruit of the Spirit is that meekness. And understand, I can be meek and still and not have to be weak. The fruit of the Spirit is long suffering. So that means that I may have to say something more than once to get to the root of a situation. That's when you start talking about it. The sacredness of it. It's not trying to get my way. That is not, because a lot of people approach a relationship to get what they want and get their way. But is that really what God wants from the relationship? Is that really what a relationship is? That partnership? It's the give and take, the reciprocity. That's what we're talking about when we talk about a sacred relationship.
And Bishop, this sacred assignment and sacred relationship, does it feel like it takes a lifetime to learn? It's does it? You could look at people at 55 and it's like they're still trying to grasp this.
Right. And it's waking up every single day knowing that I'm not just loving my wife, but I'm stewarding God's daughter. When I wake up every day knowing that I'm stewarding God's daughter, it's not about being perfect in the relationship at all. It's about being present and prayerful. One of the things I love about being in a relationship with my wife is I get to wake up every day and pray for her first. When I'm praying for her, that should bring peace to our relationship. And so it doesn't make it perfect, but it puts me in a position of prayer.
So good. This is so good. And so the book, let's chat about, and Bishop, I'm going to kind of have you say right there, talk about, the book and how you all set it up and what people are going to be able to get out of this.
We set the book up for those who are not, the book is really not about, perfect relationships. It's about taking what we have learned through different relationships, through our relationship together, and just putting out there for individuals to know that, hey, your relationship or your marriage may not be perfect, but you can work on it. So we've learned how to really just steward our relationship together.
Yeah. And Dr. Key, certainly not your first book, but what would you say this is different, or, that you feel the listeners will get out of it?
Well, the first thing is, it is a partnership. It's not me or just my husband or just myself. It is a partnership. So you have what we did was I think we grabbed the top 25 questions, and you have that actual question. And we give you our story, a piece of our story. And so there's this transparency where we're telling you what, like, this is what we walk through. This is because there's not a question that we don't have a piece of us that's in there. Oh. And then we give you the he say and the she says. So you get it from both perspectives, both sides of the story, because we don't think alike. I think a lot of people mess up when they try to make the person think like them and be like them. I didn't marry my clone. I married my complement. And there's a difference. I married the one that was my covenant. So I don't need my husband to think like me, be like me. I need him to understand me. but I don't need him to be me. And so you'll find that the book, you hear both of our voices. And that was interesting to capture because we both had to be authentic. It was like, how do we say this so it comes across the right way so there's not misunderstood? But then some people, that's what they want to do. If they want to misunderstand, they will. But we wanted to make sure that we were honorable to one another, honorable to those who had asked questions. So we did not give any names or situations. But somebody may read and say, "Oh, that was my session. That was my session." They could see it and see their own session in it. But there's nothing identifiable for them that would go back. And then we give assignments at the end of every chapter. There is actually an activity for a single and a couple so they can make application, because we didn't just want to be another book on a shelf. We wanted it to be a sacred walk and a journey so that we never meet the people, never have that one-on-one, that we're still a part of their journey, because every book that we send out, every book that goes out is being prayed over, because we know the power of agreement. So we're coming into agreement for healing and breakthrough. So that the book, it took us 8 years. We fought to get this book out. It took 8 years.
Wait a minute. 8 years?
Yes.
We have, and it was almost embarrassing to say it's coming. And it was like every time we would get to the point, something would happen, something would block it. This time it was like do or die. And again, you were the greatest influence on this book coming out. And I said it to you in private. You sent an email one day and you were like, stop trying to make it perfect.
Right.
And I can't remember the last part about it, but the word perfect stood up for me because that's one of my idiosyncrasies. Is I wanted to be perfect. I want, excellence, executing excellence is the tagline of my enterprise. But there was a moment was like, and I told my husband, even if it's not perfect, it's going out because we're not perfect. So if there's some typographical errors, if it's some grammatical errors, we'll take the heat as long as we can still help. So send the heat, talk about it, talk about what should have been done. But if it helps somebody, it's worth the imperfections because we're imperfect. I have the degrees, but I'm still human. Mistakes are going to be made. But that was the biggest challenge. But the warfare to get it out was real.
Wow. So that means impact. And so give us the full name of the book, Dr. Key.
It's actually two of them. But both of them go by this. It's Real, Relevant, and Raw. You asked, we answered. That's the actual book itself. Right. And then you have Real, Relevant, and Raw, the journey, the prayer journey. So we took what was done in the book, and then we have the prayer. So because you got to have both. We cannot disconnect from our spiritual roots. So we gave both perspectives. And so it's like after you do these activities, you still have to pray this thing through. So you can have a plan, but you can't have a plan without prayer. I got my Aunt Harriet, Lord, that just hi Aunt Harriet.
Thank you for stopping in.
That's my auntie.
Yes. So how can people purchase the book?
They have two ways. If they want to get it signed, they can just hit us up on social media directly because we are still signing. We have a couple of in person, but they can go to drkey.org and they'll be able to find it there. They'll find both of the books. They can get the set, they can get them individually, however they feel led, because it's not just for married, it's for singles that are preparing for relationships. It's for those that are in relationships and it's complicated. We want to help you uncomplicate it. And then it's for those that are married. So they can do it. So they can hit us up directly. We do have a shipment going out tomorrow. So if they want to jump in on that shipment, they can hit us directly, or they can go through the website, which is drkey.org.
Wonderful. And Bishop, this process, were you in this 8-year process ever like, we just gonna hang this up, or you like, no, this is coming through? That's true. That's real talk, right?
Yeah, I said to her many times, why write a book? Why tell our story through a book? Why we want to put our business on Front Street? So many times, yes, I have said, no, stop the project. But she said, no, it's go time. I heard God. And one of the things about my wife that is true to everything. If she said, I heard God, we going with God.
We going. Oh my goodness. Listen, Dr. Travis, I love my parents. I love it. Thank you. Getting copies. So there you go. Listen, we have somebody that wants to come down. I want to come down next weekend and pick up my copies. Need to see y'all. Thank you so much. And so you said, Dr. Key, your voice. You just said that in a part of the last response. And so that just has me think about you all would be amazing on a podcast. like for listeners to hear your voice? Can you, are y'all thinking about it? Is that in the works?
It's coming. Actually, we're gonna do it. We're gonna start it July 2025, which actually July 29th, 2025, which is our actual anniversary. We're gonna go ahead and submit to the pressure. So we're gonna do the Real Relevant and Raw or R3 radio. That'll be what's coming in July. So we're getting ourselves poised. We're both, and if we were honest, there's still that energy of you're opening yourself up even more. We don't profess to know everything, but we know the one that does. And we'll give you our authentic answers. And if we don't have an answer, we'll go on prayer, try to get you one. And then we believe in pointing people even beyond us to even those who are licensed professionals. We keep those partnerships in place because we want to see people be healthy. We want to see people deal with trauma. Because if we say our testimony and we don't give them direction, then we're just doing trauma sharing. We're just trauma bonding. And that's not what we want.
Wow.
So Real Relevant and Raw. The podcast is coming July 29th, 2025. That will be our anniversary party.
Woo! Hot off the press, viewers and listeners. You listen, hot off the press here on this stop of the.
You are the first to know.
Yes,
for the third.
Sharvette Mitchell Show.
Yes, you heard it there. And so, Bishop James, how do you balance transparency? Kind of like talking about oversharing, sharing too much. How do you balance transparency with insight, ministry, and spiritual insight, as you all minister to couples?
We tell the truth, but we also tell the whole truth. We tell the whole truth, utilizing scripting and different strategies. People need to know that we bleed too, and the truth is that God can still heal, even though we
still a healer. Still a healer. And so I would love to hear, what specific advice do you give to singles about dating? Now, I recognize there may be in the faith world some debates about, is dating even accurate or real, and all of that. But for the vernacular, those that are here that are single at 20, single at 55, single again from a divorce or from a loss. So all kinds of singles. What's a piece of advice you all would give? And I'm going to start with Bishop, since I got him on his mic hot, and then we're going to go to Dr. Key.
I think I would have to start with don't date from your brokenness. Date from your wholeness. That's a piece of advice I would give. And be very clear about who you are so that you won't settle for who you aren't.
Ooh, and if y'all take that quote, you better tag Bishop and give him credit. Oh, that's so good. Listen, April, I'm here with you. I'm listening. I'm holding the interview, but I'm listening as well.
Right. So from your wholeness and not your brokenness.
So good. Dr. Key, what would you add? What would you say to singles? Anyone single listening right now?
First thing I'm going to tell a single is don't compromise for potential. Wow. It is important to know what you want. Because you cannot afford to compromise. You can't wait till the red flags show up. So when you know what you want and you know what you're looking for, you can identify red flags. Don't allow yourself to decide that I'm going to overlook this, because the person that you get is who you're going to get. Right. That question becomes, especially with people that are saying, I want to date or I want to take this. You have purpose. You should date with purpose on purpose. So when you know you have purpose in your life, and we talk about it from a spiritual lens, purpose has to meet purpose. And it can't just be the potential. That person has to want to be purpose. And it makes a difference. So when you start talking about connecting your life with somebody, you're actually connecting your purpose with somebody else's purpose. Can they handle your purpose? And who are they? A lot of I tell people, don't go in there looking for people to change, because they may not. Is the person that you're meeting today the one you want to spend the rest of your life with? We hope for change. We pray for change. But if they never change, does this person fit your purpose? And that's important to know.
Listen, and my mother, real mother, isn't that, like she's saying, say that again, say that again. And I think what is so interesting about looking at purpose, because where you are right now is not, for a lot of us, not where we're going to be. So what is the thought? I'd love for both of you to think of, for you to kind of comment on, like those of us that we know we have big purposes even yet to be seen. How do you, think through that, where you are is not even where you're going?
That's where communication, if there is no communication, there won't be a relationship, there won't be a future. Because when you have the foundational conversations are so important. When we do our sessions, we insist that couples talk about your 3 year, your current, your now, and your next, like, because you have to give each other permission to evolve. So yes, this is who I am today, but you have to give me permission to evolve. And hopefully we can do that together, to grow together. You cannot hold me hostage to who I am today. And so we have to be able to have those conversations, which is why it's important to know who you are, because you can't tell a person what's to come if you yourself don't know. There were a lot of things that have happened with Bishop and I that I didn't know, but there were a whole lot of things I could tell him at the beginning. I could tell him from the beginning, look, we're going to have to pray a whole lot. I could tell him, you're dealing with a person that deals with warfare. I could tell him, I don't need you to be able to pay for anything, but I need you to be able to pray for everything, because I need somebody who can pray when my back is up against the wall and I can barely lift my head off the pillow. That's not something that a bank account could handle. I needed to know that when you say you're going to protect the house, that means you're going to stand between me and hell on the days when my destiny is under attack. That's what you need to be able to articulate to a person, because your favorite color doesn't matter. I hate to food. That's something that you'll learn. Your favorite food ain't gonna fix nothing. But I need to know how you handle anger. How do you handle frustration? How do we walk this thing through? And I need to be able to tell you, look, I know this is where I am, but this is what God has shown me. And I don't need to be in competition in my own house. And so that was the beauty of who I married in Bishop J, that I call him the answer to my prayers wrapped in cocoa butter brown flesh, because he truly is the answer to my prayers. Because he could handle who I was, who I am, and who I was becoming. And it was not a company. We weren't in a power struggle, but we knew that we were pushing and pulling each other simultaneously, and that purpose was more important than pride.
Oh, my goodness. If you're listening to the podcast, look down below in the show notes. You'll see the full bio for all of our speakers. I just wanted to drop that in. They're open for speaking engagements. They didn't tell me that. I'm saying that. But so much power, so articulate. Bishop Jay, I want you to be able to add on to that, but also I want you to talk about how, you all kind of protect your own marriage while leading others and mentoring others in this relationship space.
And just to answer that, the first part about it, I want to stay in the same vein that my wife was in, and then I'll answer the other part very quickly. I want to stay with communication. Communication, for me, it brings confidence and it kills confusion. It'll actually, communication will actually allow you to kill any confusion that may be happening in your marriage. And one of the ways that we actually protect our marriage is we set boundaries. We say no sometimes. We prioritize. We do check-ins. We have date nights. We have day dates. We do everything. We have prayer night. We have everything that life depends on keeping this marriage together.
My goodness. Woo, I'm telling you, our time flew by. That's why we're waiting for y'all's podcast. But I want to make sure that the viewers and the listeners know how to pick up the new book. So Bishop James, tell the full title and where they can go to get their copy.
Well, you can get a copy of Real Relevant and Raw on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, our ministry website, WODWM, or you can just hit my wife's website, www.drkey.org. That's www.drki.org.
Wonderful. And those links again are down below in the show notes. If you're on YouTube, if you're in the podcast, and also if you're hanging out on Sharvette.com, we have the full bio, all the links there, made it real simple and easy. I'm telling you, time it flew on by. I could say more, but I'm gonna stop here because I honor people's time. But the last question for both of you, the goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And I'm going to start with Dr. Key and end with Bishop J. What continues to motivate you? Dr. Key? What continues to motivate you?
What motivate transformation, being able to be used as a tool of transformation, to remind people that they're not too broken to be loved, not too late to have love. That I'll even go back to the title of my own book, they're not too damaged to not have destiny. That's a motivator when we hear the stories of success. When we hear people say that, you know, this saved my life, or this saved my marriage, or it made a difference. Making a difference. Our goal is not to be mega, but it's to matter. And we want to matter to each life that we come into contact with in whatever capacity, whether it's individually or collectively, whether it's what we're doing through Real, Relevant, and Raw, or what we're doing through our own personal walks. We just want to matter to those that we come, and we want it to be integral. I want people to say, you know what, they're different, you know, that they have to rethink what they think about the church, what they think about leaders, what they think about believers. I want people who have negative perspective to have to rethink it. I want to be the antithesis to the negativity.
Thank you. And I can certainly attest to operating in integrity. Whenever I have interacted with you all online and in person, always operating in integrity. Bishop J, what continues to motivate you?
What continues to motivate me is consistently staying consistent. My wife will tell you for years I was consistently inconsistent. And so being able to stay consistently consistent about who you are, what you believe, and where you're trying to go, you keep the person that you are involved with, or who you're married to, or who you're trying to date, you keep them engaged by your consistency. You keep them, consistently wanting to be with you, want to be around you. If you consistently stay in prayer, I'm gonna always revert back to prayer. If you consistently stay in prayer, God will send the exact answer. You heard her say, "I'm the answer to her prayers wrapped in cocoa butter brown flesh." She is the caramel covered angel that God sent me, that has scripture that I get to read every single night. So I'm gonna consistently read the Bible, study the Bible, so I can know what she wants, know what she needs. And when you do that, you help the person that you're with stay consistent.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, both of you, for the impact that you have locally and globally, and in particular on marriages. And one other last thing. I know I said I had a last question. Y'all doing anything in person? Are you doing anything in person for couples?
Yes. September 2025, we are going to do the Real, Relevant, and Raw retreat. It'll be 2 days. And we're going to bring in some friends that we're going to bring in, but we want to be able to do it in person, because we believe that while we are grateful for this platform, we're grateful for the opportunities we've had. Sometimes you just want to put your hands on, we want to be able to touch. We are the touchy feely. We want to be able to hug. We want to be able to hear it. So we're working. It's going to happen in September. We're going to release it in the next 2 days. We're just trying to confirm location. We do know it'll be in Richmond, Virginia, in this area, but we're just working on the final pieces of that. So coming September 2025 will be the Real, Relevant, and Raw retreat. We used to do them in February because that was my birthday. I'm born on Valentine's Day, so we should do it the week of Valentine's Day. But this time we're going to do it in September, because September, the month of birthing, and we believe that God is birthing some great things in the realm of relationships, both for singles and for couples. So we're working the final details out, and we'll be able to share those soon.
All right. Stay connected, everyone. Couples, reserve your September weekend getaway trip for this retreat. Thank you so much for stopping by the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.
Thank you so much.
All right.
We love you.
Thank you. Wow. It is a wrap. Again, Sharvette.com is the best place. It has the full bio for both of our guests tonight, connection links, social media links, everything there. And if you're on YouTube, look down below in the show notes. If you're on the podcast, look down below in the show notes. Thank you. I couldn't get fast enough to everyone that is here. Thank you so much, Dr. Dixon. Thank you, Mr. Park. Listen, so many people in the comments and in the chats. Thank you, April, for stopping on in. Good to see you. Certainly, Dr. Travis. Thank you, JL. Thank you, Roberto. Thank you, Lisa. And the list goes on. We appreciate you. It is a wrap for today. Subscribe to our podcast, because I know you like this content, and we'll see you all later again on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. You just listened to episode 767. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.